Welcome to today's deep dive. Today we're pulling from a stack of historical and theological reflections, all centered on this 2,000-year-old text.
Right, the Apostle Paul's letter in 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verses 17 through 24.
Yeah, and our mission here is to see how, this ancient scripture crashes head-on into our very modern obsession with status and identity. Because, let's face it takes a massive amount of energy to prove to the world that you matter.
It is so exhausting. Like you swipe through social media and you're just hit with this endless highlight reel of, carefully curated lives.
Exactly. We broadcast our worth constantly.
Oh, absolutely. We do it with luxury watches or making sure that that lanyard with our prestigious workplace ID card is like perfectly angled in a photo. Right.
Or just casually wearing a hoodie with an elite university logo plastered across the chest.
We treat this need for validation like it's a uniquely modern digital age problem. We really do.
Yeah.
But reading through these sources on 1 Corinthians, you see the exact same human psychological drive playing out in the first century.
Well, back then, they obviously weren't flexing Ivy League hoodies. The source text addresses completely different societal markers, right? Like specifically circumcision and slavery.
Yeah, exactly. In the early church, circumcision functioned as the ultimate in-group marker. Jewish believers often viewed it as like a badge of elite spiritual pedigree.
Which left the Gentiles feeling, like second-class citizens without it?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And slavery, on the other end of the spectrum, was the ultimate social and economic dividing line of the Roman Empire.
So those were the defining status symbols of their day.
Right.
And Paul writes into this highly stratified world with advice that, to modern ears, it sounds incredibly stagnant. He essentially tells them that each one should remain in the condition in which he was called.
It does sound jarring, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have to push back on that because it sounds completely defeatist. Like, are we not supposed to strive for better jobs or, try to improve our life circumstances?
Taking that at face value, it feels like terrible career advice.
Really terrible. Like, just give up and stay put.
But Paul drops a specific caveat in verse 21 that, it shifts the entire meaning. He asks, "Were you a bondservant when called? Do not be concerned about it. But if you can gain your freedom, avail yourself of the opportunity."
Oh, wow. Okay, so he isn't promoting forced stagnation at all.
Not at all. The true aha insight from the reflections on this text is that it's actually about intentional purpose. God calls people from within their specific economic, family, or religious backgrounds because he has a purpose for them in that exact situation.
That makes a lot of sense. We usually operate on the assumption that God needs to drastically change our circumstances first before he can do any meaningful work in our lives.
Right, like we need a clean slate first.
Yeah, it's like believing you need to go out and buy a pristine, brand new canvas before you can paint a masterpiece. But the messy, half-painted canvas you're already holding is actually exactly what the artist requires to do the work.
I love that analogy. The artist isn't waiting for an upgraded canvas to start painting. And because that specific, messy canvas is the point, the source is heavily worn against the pressure to, paint over it just to look like everyone else.
Which is so hard. We feel this immense pressure to constantly compare our career trajectories or our relationship status or finances with everyone else in our community.
Oh, constantly.
Yeah, and that highlights the real danger of the highlight reel. We assume everyone needs to fit into a single, uniform mold to have value.
But the text makes it clear that a uniform, identical group of people is the exact opposite of the goal.
The underlying human behavior really hasn't changed in 2 millennia, has it? We are still exhausted by the pressure to prove our worth through appearances and validation.
We are, which makes a specific command in this text incredibly relevant. Paul writes, "You were bought with a price. Do not become bondservants of men."
Wow. If we spend our entire lives running on that treadmill, completely exhausted by the need for online validation and the pressure to project the perfect image, haven't we essentially volunteered to become modern-day servants to public opinion?
It really seems like it.
Yeah.
We traded ancient slavery for the servitude of the highlight reel.
Definitely something for you to think about the next time you feel the urge to put on that university hoodie just to prove you belong.